Welcome back. On Wednesday in Washington, House Republicans succeeded in their goal to begin a formal impeachment inquiry into President Biden. The vote fell along party lines.
And the inquiry concerns alleged foreign business dealings of the president, which Republicans have investigated for a year now. Democrats say the lack of evidence presented proves that the president is clear of any wrongdoing, but Republicans are arguing that they can find more as they continue with the formal inquiry.
Here with us tonight to talk about the political implications of all this are Republican attorney Terry Johnson, joining us over Zoom, as well as Democratic consultant Beverly Watts. Thank you both for being here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, Terry, I'm going to start with you. So far, even though Republicans have been looking into this for almost a year now, no direct evidence has been presented, at least not publicly. So how will this inquiry change that? How will this lead to anything different?
You know, it's funny you say no direct evidence. I believe that they do have direct evidence, but the interesting thing that I look at here is, why don't we just switch the names? Why don't we just say Trump, Biden, and switch the Democrats and Republicans? Because this is exactly what happened several years ago. The Democrats said they had all this information. The Republicans said you have nothing. Fortunately, here in this situation, there is direct evidence tying Hunter Biden, which is the president's son, to what's going on. All of this started because the White House, and let's think about this, the White House's attorney basically told the House of Representatives, we're not going to cooperate with you unless you get, House subpoena power. So that's what they did. That's got to tell you something there.
So, Beverly, the fact that Republicans are so confident that they'll be able to dig up more, how are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling that they're really showing how desperate they are. I think this is a really slippery slope for the Republicans. As you indicated earlier, it's been a year trying to see if you can tie anything to the president as it relates to foreign affairs, and there's nothing. There's nothing. I liken it like to one of the nighttime comedians that said, this is like CSI without the C. So, basically, I think you're talking about Hunter Biden, that's not elected to office. You're talking about the president, who just didn't get into this 10 years ago. He has a lengthy, he's been in elected office, and he's been serving the public for decades. I don't think he'd get to this point in his career where he's going to be corrupt. So you can say what you want to say about President Biden, and we can get into anything else about age and all of that, but he has experience, and he has wisdom, and he has the knowledge. So I think this is showing desperation on the side of the Republicans, and I think this is going to be a mistake that they'll see 6 months from now.
Until pretty recently, Terry, a few Republicans, more moderate Republicans within the House, were pretty reluctant to support this until Speaker Johnson said recently that this was just continuing the investigation. No guarantee that the president will be impeached. Why do you think some members of the Republicans in the House have been reluctant to support this?
Well, again, it's political for some of these people. Those Republicans probably live in a district that are predominantly Democrat, and they think there's going to be some backlash as a result of this. I mean, listen, Beverly talks about, wisdom and all these other things. Joe Biden hasn't shown any wisdom. This is the same man that basically has changed his story a minimum of 3 times regarding the business deals with his son. This is the same man whose Department of Justice that he runs has dragged his feet and not charged Hunter Biden. And yes, Hunter Biden is not the elected official, but again, these are the same people that went after Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and Donald Trump's daughter. So let's not play new here, like, oh my God, look at what they're doing. This is the exact same things that the Democrats did, and now they're crying foul. Shame on you. You guys started this.
Now, should they keep going, though, Terry, and not find anything, what do you think that says about everything that we've been looking at so far?
Well, the funny thing is if they don't find anything, much like they didn't find about Donald Trump, then they're wrong. And here's the fun part of this. If Joe Biden, with all of his wisdom, as Beverly claims he has, why doesn't he just cooperate with the House and say, here, go look, go play, go find whatever you want to find. There's nothing there. He's stonewalling, much like he did with his own son, Hunter, hoping that the public will get behind him and give him a pity party. It's not going to happen.
It is a fair point, Beverly. If there's nothing to be found, should the president be concerned? Should the Democratic Party just ignore all of this?
No, because they know what they're dealing with. And Terry understands, too, about wisdom, and we're not saying perfection. So you definitely can't look at someone who was in office, as you say, Trump, with resurrection and everything else that he did, insurrection, and you're going to say that that's, you know, wisdom and wise, and this is who you want. The president is focused on moving this country forward. When I say wisdom, I'm speaking about an individual who got a budget passed. I'm speaking of an individual who's coming up with different ways to support student loans, real issues that's affecting real Americans. That's what I'm talking about when I'm speaking about wisdom. Instead of just having sound bites and going back and forth of who we can get, who's better red or who's better blue. That's what I'm speaking about, wisdom and experience. We have real issues in this country that needs to be addressed instead of seeing like we're at the playground and seeing who can outdo each other on the wisdom. So that's what I'm speaking about, and President Biden has that. He has that. And trying to move this country forward with these issues that matter to us: health, reform, education, jobs. So you can't say that he doesn't have any wisdom, and you just can't look at it and say, okay, he's trying to protect his son. He's a parent as well, just like the former president, protecting his children and his son-in-law, who we haven't gotten to that issue as well. If you looked at most of the elected officials and went to grade them or their family or their siblings, you would find something. So let's grade them on themselves. If they have something that they've done wrong, or you can find something, then okay, that's a different issue. But we're coming after inquiry again when time after time after time on this particular issue, individuals said there's nothing there. So I think the Republicans need to move on.
Nothing there. The Democrats are the
Most
only
people are
ones saying
saying
there's
nothing there except the Republicans.
Terry,
just
I
like
wonder,
you guys did with Trump a few years ago.
Terry, on
Remember,
that same note,
not guilty.
you mentioned, as you see it, hypocrisy on the part of the Democratic Party now that their guy is the one in the hot seat. Are you concerned that we are headed to a future in which it's normal for the President of the United States to always be under investigation, the center of an inquiry by the opposing party? Is that a slippery slope?
Unfortunately, it is, because if you don't like the person that's in office, just like they started doing it personally with Trump, and look at the things he was impeached over: a phone call, which was found to be absolutely almost perfect. And as we look in the future, and I'm talking about the phone call with Ukraine, if the Democrats don't stop playing these games, it's amazing. It's like they throw the rock and then they go and hide and say, well, look at what happened. We are down that slippery slope, and don't sit here and just say, oh my God, this shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be going after the kids. We shouldn't be going after this. They started this. The chickens have come home to roost.
Any final thoughts, Beverly?
Yes, I think this is going to be another issue that's going to backfire on the Republicans, just like Roe v. Wade. So let them go on with their inquiry again for the 10,000th time. There's nothing there. I'm glad that they're going down this road, if this is a path they want to go through, so that way the Democrats will get a Hail Mary again when it comes to landing in the White House again. So let them do that and not stay focused on the real issues in this country.
All right. Beverly Watts and Terry Johnson, we appreciate your time. We will be following this story, of course, every day. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.